I thought I was prepared for this Browns season in one area, right? Where I thought this year, as we get going, it's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be ups and downs with Deshaun Watson, with this team. And you tell yourself that, you prepare yourself for it. But when you actually get on the ride, it's a little different. You stand in line for 2 hours for Millennium, you're all jacked. When you finally sit down and they check that little seat and you're ready to go and you go up that, Millennium's got some of the best views, though. Because you just look out, you're over the lake. It's the best, man. It's the best. But I don't know if I was quite ready for this roller coaster. So with that in mind, I start trying to grab things out of every single game that the Browns play, that Deshaun Watson plays, to try to come to the answer, is this going to work? Is this going to work out with him being the starting quarterback for the Browns and take you where you want to go? Game one, didn't feel all that good. Down. Coming back up the hill a little bit on Sunday. But when I look back on Sunday's game, and as we get ready to go for the Giants this weekend, I sit there and I ask, was there something there? Do you feel like there was something for you to grab onto to say this door is still open for Deshaun Watson? As we get ready for this roller coaster ride, it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be a long season. Did you see what you needed to on Sunday? We'll get to some guards today. Meh. Yeah. Okay, fine. We go over to ESPN, though, today because they have all the playoff contending teams, and we'll play a little contender or pretender. And the one thing for the Guardians, can that be the thing to drive them to a World Series title? We'll get to that. We've got NFL power rankings, and I've got a really interesting fact or fiction to run through on the NFL side of things from SI. We'll get to that. We got the morning update. We'll get to our bracket for the best movie villain of all time. Yeah, we'll mess around with that grid. We'll get to time up. We got it all for you right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you with us this morning. You can always follow Twitter. Do you want me to stop saying X? You just want me to say Twitter?
I prefer X.
Oh, you do?
Because that's what it's called.
Yeah, but nobody calls it that. You see, Elon might sell it now? Did you read that?
No, I didn't.
Cuban's in, man.
Oh, no.
Is that worse? Is that better or worse? I don't know.
That's straight. Well,
is that worse?
I mean, that's going from straight red to blue.
Can you see? I just pictured Cuban on Shark Tank, and Elon goes, "I've got this."
Wait, this Elon? I think Elon and Mark Cuban aren't fans of each other.
Oh, I'm sure they're not.
One's very left, one's very right.
I'm sure that's very correct. Yes, I would imagine. So, like, all I read was that Tesla is getting worried about him because he might have to liquidate more Tesla stock to keep Twitter afloat.
Well, dude, energy, it's going to be hydrogen. That's the new wave of cars. In 10
What's
years.
that got to do with anything? Oh, you're talking about
Tesla.
losing money in Tesla?
Yeah,
I saw a Cybertruck the other day. They look kind of stupid. You see two and you're like, whatever. But yeah, like they're getting worried for him on Tesla because do you see Twitter's down like 76% in revenue or something?
Is it really?
Here's my shock face. Yeah, I mean, when he came in, and I'm going to break this whole thing up and whatever. So anyway, we're on Twitter X, whatever you want to follow, at Matt Fontana Show. Anything critical going on with YouTube? Anything big with YouTube? Not that I know of?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
you can follow us there. Twitch is just fine. Go follow us there as well. And Instagram, happy to have you alongside. So we gear up and get ready to go for the Giants this weekend. And remind me, so I want to talk about this later too. Are the Browns good enough that you can almost guarantee a win? Like, when I look at Sunday's game, do we not all feel like it's not just a must win? Don't you have no doubt that we're going to beat the Giants on Sunday? Okay, I want to get to that a little bit later because I was thinking about that kind of in the circle of Deshaun Watson where we begin the conversation today. So obviously Sunday was better and it was a step in the right direction. And there's no way that I'm going to look at probably even one game at all this season and rubber stamp this like he's back, we're good to go. But we've talked about some of the throws that we saw on Sunday and just kind of this wave that we're riding with Deshaun Watson and trying to get to the ultimate answer. Can you get fixed? Can Kevin Stefanski fix Deshaun Watson? And it's, again, going to be this up and down cycle of one game showing you this and maybe this throw wasn't great and trying to find it out. I look back more on Sunday, and as I rewatch parts of that game, it gave me even more optimism than I thought I had. Monday, we were just excited that it was Victory Monday. We had a big win. It was a must-win game. All of that was great. But then when I kind of separate myself from just the win, and I focus more in on what Deshaun Watson did, there was more and more that I liked. And again, there was the mistake of not going down and taking the sack, but I didn't see too many throws that I was like, what the hell were you doing? I go back to a clip, that Colts clip. Remember that Colts one where he's running around, he just chucks it straight to that Colts defender?
Yep.
I didn't see that on Sunday. And then I saw the sideline to Jerry Jeudy. I saw some nice throws. And it's just building this optimism back up. And it's trying to fill my cup back up of understanding if Deshaun Watson is going to get back to the form that you believe that he's going to. Now, again, I've set aside, and I'm not even thinking about prime Deshaun Watson. I need to first get him to a level of an average starting quarterback in the NFL. Then once we do that, maybe we can talk about an elite status. Right now, I'm just worried about getting him back to being the 14th best quarterback in the NFL. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. But when I look at Sunday, okay, I said this to you before the show. I didn't know if I want to bring this up, but it's kind of the best analogy that I have, and it's kind of sad and morbid, but here's what I got. It's like when you're sick. And they say, we're going to get you better, but right now all we're asking is you don't get any worse, right? It's just going to be this waiting game of not getting worse before we can get you better. That's kind of where I'm at with Deshaun Watson. It's almost like I just need a couple of games, or maybe just Sunday was it, of not being worse. Let's not create the same mistakes over and over again. Then we can start to apply to improvement. Let's just start with not getting worse, okay? Dallas was worse. Dallas was bad. That was worse than what we've seen. Sunday was maybe a little bit better, but you didn't get any worse. You didn't have these horrible self-inflicted injuries, or I keep saying injuries, penalties. You don't have these throws that you're like, where the hell were you trying to throw that one? It's a little step forward in the right direction. But I just wonder, and I don't know how we can succinctly put this for a Twitter question, Ryan, but it's like, did you feel better, or did you already send a question out?
No.
Oh, I thought you was our poll from yesterday. I saw you looking at the screen there.
I was just looking at the bot in our chat.
I got a lot of bots all of a sudden. A lot of crypto advice.
Yeah, they like.
I'm sure that's legit. I'm sure that's real when the crypto advice is out there free. Is it weird that I say the same thing about betting? Those people that are like, oh, these are lock picks. And I'm like, well, then why are you giving them away for free? Like, why are they out? Whatever. We digress. But, I'm trying to think of a succinct way of asking that question of, did Sunday turn your opinion of Deshaun Watson? Was Sunday enough for you to start believing again that he can be a serviceable playoff-level quarterback? That's almost the way I want to think. Did Sunday prove to you or make you believe that Watson can return to form? Or you could say, nope, that was not enough. I need more games. For me, and the whole reason this is on my mind, is rewatching it and seeing it, and I go, I see a little progress. I see a little bit. And mostly about what I've been saying. It wasn't a lot of progress, but you didn't get worse. He didn't play a bad game on Sunday. I really don't think he played a bad game on Sunday. So now we start to ball that up, and you start to step and you start to stack and you try to get ready to go for Sunday. And making, understanding that with this team, and I think another part of Sunday too, it doesn't all have to be on Deshaun Watson. That's my kind of what we were asking for early. Ask the defense to play a great game. They did. The rushing attack wasn't stellar, but you got some nice plays when you needed them. And just kind of lift up Watson to get back to a level of serviceable, then we can start attacking the elites and moving forward. Did Sunday's game do anything for you? Now that we're removed from it, we handed out our game balls. We talked about the importance of that game. But did Sunday do anything for you when it comes to Deshaun Watson? Have you open your mind back up to the potential. And you might be saying, Matt, it's been 2 games. Jacksonville is 0-2. Maybe Sunday's game is going to be a vitally important one, because that's the other thing, and it kind of morphs into the other thing I want to talk about with the Giants coming up. Deshaun Watson has no business losing to the New York Giants, okay? And I know that he's not where we need him to be yet, but specifically Watson, then when you add in the rest of that team, Ryan, we have no business losing this game on Sunday to the Giants. And I'm going to approach that as we get ready to go for them on Sunday. And okay, Danny Dimes playing a little bit better, and Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson, and okay, fine. You have nothing that this shouldn't be, I'm going to say it, a cakewalk on Sunday. And I want the Browns to approach it that way. Going back to that Jacksonville game, Miles talked about the added motivation when they saw that Trevor Banks Stadium thing and all that. The Browns, I want them to enter this game on Sunday and look at an inferior opponent and take care of business. I don't need this to be a 45-3 blowout, but what I want to see Sunday is a relaxed, controlled win for the Cleveland Browns. This is almost like a get-right game. Not that you need one. You're 1-1. You had a nice game against Jacksonville. This is like the bonus. And now the problem when you do that, and even when we have our bets and you got a lock and you could have the Raiders come up on the Ravens, but Ryan, like outside of the Panthers, which we'll discuss more of that coming up later when we get to that fact or fiction. I think the Giants are one of the worst teams in football.
Oh, they are.
I really do.
One of the two.
It's either them or the Panthers. I think the Patriots are better than them.
Yeah.
I think the Raiders are better than them.
Correct.
And it's 2 games, and I'm sure they're feeling a lot of pressure, and they probably are coming here feeling like they could try to steal one away. I need the Browns to start with a laser focus. The Giants should have no business in this game on Sunday. They should have no business being in this game. I want to take the ball on Sunday. I want to get the first points. I want to put the pressure on them, and I need our defense to show back up. And the thing is, with where the Browns are at, I don't feel a letdown. Now, again, it's so early in the season, but we saw some letdown games in week 2, did we not? I don't feel like the Browns are in that position right now where they can be focused on the Giants, but I want them to be focused and know you're the better team. When we do the Friday report card coming up on Friday, Ryan, I don't think there's going to be one that goes for the Giants.
No, there won't be.
They're probably maybe running back but I'd still rather have Jerome Ford over Devin Singletary, right?
Maybe.
Probably. Deontay Foreman.
I mean,
factor him in then there too. That's the only close one I can think of.
No, it will be the only close one.
That's it. And that's going to be another reason why you just approach this game a little bit differently when it comes to the Browns. And it comes back to Deshaun Watson. I'm going to need him to approach the game this way. I'm going to ask him to tap back in to some of those things when he was in Houston. Now, the problem is when he was in Houston, there was only 2 years where they were really considered like, wow, they can beat most teams out there. The year he put up all those stats, they were bad. They were a horrible team. Suspension, Browns time here. Like, it's been a long time since Deshaun Watson can walk on a field and say, I am better than this team and I'm going to beat them, right? Goes back to one of the preseason articles we read about Watson, where there was a time that when he walked into the stadium, the opposing team knew, yeah, we're probably not going to win this game. It seems like a far cry to where we are today. But I need him to have that mindset as we get ready to go for Sunday. As we go into this game, and specifically the stretch, which, by the way, now that Saints game looks a little bit different now, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Right? This stretch of games where you're sitting there and you're checking off wins, we play the schedule game and all that other kind of stuff. I think this win actually has that much more importance to it because that Saints game, you might have a fight on your hand. Now, I question about, again, what the Saints are doing. I'd like to see them up against our defense, but I do look at Sunday and say, you have got to approach this game. And I know Browns fans will be scared about this, to say this is a must win because you are just frankly the better team. Now, what have we said all season? What have I always said? You're going to win a game you're probably not supposed to. You're going to lose a game you probably shouldn't, right? I cannot have Sunday be the loss that we shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. Sunday needs to be a easy, controlled, take advantage of the fact that you have so many spots on that field on Sunday that you have the advantage. I think you have the advantage in coaching. You certainly have the advantage at quarterback. Can't say that too often, even with where Watson is at. You've got that. Got the advantage on defense. You have so many things where I actually try to put myself in the New York Giants side of things. What are they going to try to do? What are they going to try to do to win a game? I don't know. They're going to
have to run it 40 times.
Well, no, actually, I really think their only prayer is Danny Dimes.
Well, it's not.
For him running and then he's going to have to throw. You're going to have to throw. Laugh. I know, right? That's exactly the thought. There's so many areas you have the advantage of. You got to get it on Sunday, man. You just got to take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're easily better on all three levels than the New York Giants. And you look at it from the Giants side, you got blown out by Sam Darnold, no disrespect to him. But then you go into week 2, you lose to a rookie quarterback. You lose to Dan Quinn, who's in his first year with the Commanders, right? You are literally better in every single facet. You're at home. And you talk about games, you're going to win a game that you're not supposed to. You're going to lose a game you're not supposed to. But in this case, it cannot be the Giants, right? The Chiefs, in a million simulations, maybe lose one to the Giants, and
right.
Probably even that. The 49ers, the same thing. If you're truly an elite team, a Super Bowl contender, you cannot drop one to the New York Giants. It's pretty much that simple.
No, and that's where the Browns, who view themselves, I'm sure, as a playoff team, as we all do, that is some of the things, those are some of the marks that you got to have when you just play an inferior team, and that's what I think the Giants are for Sunday. Rest of the Browns, we get ready to go for this week. Obviously, it's going to be big on waiting for Conklin and waiting for Jed Wills. We talked to Noah Weiskopf yesterday at the OBR. He feels the same way we do. It sounds like you're going to be able to get Conklin back, which is great. I'll be super interested this afternoon to see if David Njoku practices, because you know where I stand on this whole thing. I don't even want Njoku practicing this week. Take care of that ankle, get it healed up. You shouldn't need him to beat the Giants. Get that ready to go. Eyes on Denzel, and certainly a little bit on the foot there of Miles. They make some of the moves yesterday. Unfortunately, as we would have figured out, IR there for David Bell. They bring in Royce Freeman, and they bring back Jalen Darden. That's pretty much it. Overall, health-wise, you're ready to go. And again, for this week, I think, getting Amari Cooper back involved Sunday is going to be a big thing. But we enter this week of practice for the Browns, for the Giants, in a really, really solid spot.
Yeah, I mean, I have no complaints, right? I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, like, obviously this would never happen, but I'm trying to put into perspective just how bad this Giants team is, right? Like, let's say you do the first series and Deshaun Watson just gets sacked twice, God forbid 3 times.
That's another way. They got Thibodeau and Brian Burns. I mean, that'd be a way that they get after you.
You would still expect, and this would never happen because Deshaun Watson needs the reps 100%, but you could literally throw in Dorian Thompson-Robinson and win that game. That's how much of a... I'm not saying they would never do that. No, they would never do that, but yes, 100%.
Well, that's going back to...
That's how bad this Giants team is.
That's what I'm saying. This is another opportunity for Deshaun Watson to get a little fat. You know what I'm talking about? Like eat up, man. Go ahead.
But that's what I'm just talking about. I hate it's week 2, week 3, doomsday scenario. They lose to the Giants. I don't see a recovery from that this whole season. I really don't.
Well, it all comes back to, again, how did Watson play? We'll get to this in time, my man, because one of the biggest Browns blow-ups in history happened this day a couple of years ago. We'll tell you about that. But it is hard because we're all sitting here with uber confidence. Yes, there's totally a world that the Giants get a win. I don't think that's reality, but there's a world that fluky, crazy things could happen. But it'll also be under the guys or the view of how did Watson play? Did he throw for 4 interceptions this game? Was he fine and your defense fell flat or something crazy happened? I don't know. It's all going to come back under Watson, but it's still, this seems like it'd be a great game for him. Just get out there and get fat, man. Yeah. Take it over, make your throws, eat it on up, run the football, and get after it. And I don't want them to get too ahead of themselves. At this point, we're still learning to walk, okay? I'm not ready to enter the 100-meter dash in the Olympics, okay? We're still walking here. Let's work our way up to a jog. Sunday might be a good opportunity for that, for you to take a few of those steps forward and get where you need to go with Deshaun Watson. That's what I'm talking about getting fat, just talking about just eating up, feeling good. I want him to get fat off these Giants, man. I want him to get after him. Make the throws, feel good. I actually don't even know if I'd mind an interception, because that was the one thing that was lacking in Sunday, was really the deep threat. Now, you look across the league, and all these stats that are out about dink and dunk offenses and how much they're running the football, that seems to be the new game plan at this point. Nobody's stretching the field. But also, we'll talk about this a little bit later too, these rash of injuries. And I feel like, do we not have this conversation every year?
I apologize, too, if I drafted you on my fantasy team, because that just means your season's going to end.
Yeah. Who else did you draft? Because I might have them.
Christian McCaffrey.
That's fine.
Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
Who else did I have? I have someone else that's injured.
I mean, Justin Jefferson's banged up. Jordan Addison's hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown was cramping.
Everybody's hurt, dude.
Yeah, and I feel
Debo's out for a couple weeks now.
I know. Debo's back out now, too. And that's the thing. I feel like we have this conversation every year, but usually it's like week 6 or something. Yeah. You're 2 weeks into the season. Tua, all that. Like, Bryce Young, I mean, that's a different story that Bryce Young mentioned. That's in fact or fiction, though, this morning from SI. I really want to get to that coming up in a second. But final thing here for the Browns, because we tweeted this out this morning.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it in time up again, too. That 1 year ago today was the Nick Chubb injury. Monday night, Steelers, Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, do you know what I tweeted 1 year ago today, Ryan? I thought that was a dirty hit. And I thought dirty from Minkah Fitzpatrick. And I called him a dirty player. And I had some people, obviously Browns fans, are on my side. Other people tell me I was an idiot. And that's not true at all. Maybe they're Steelers fans. I don't know. But all that aside, we sit here a year later. And we made the playoffs. Watson obviously got hurt too. But, it's hard for my mind not to wander, to think about truly that injury and maybe where it sent this Cleveland Browns team. And you would say it's crazy because it's just one guy. It's a running back where this position has become so devalued. But I look back on it 1 year later, and again, I know we made the playoffs and it was under crazy circumstances and all those things. But I even have a different vision, Ryan, about how really impactful I think that injury was to this team. And we know Chubb will be back eventually. And, again, with Freeman coming in, I think that's more of I don't think Chubb's just going to come right off pup in 2 weeks, right? I think it's going to be more than the 4 games. But even just where he stands from a contract standpoint and where he stands with this team moving forward, appreciation is the wrong word because it was a negative thing that I wish didn't happen, but I have just a different view, and I really think how impactful that injury was and how I feel about it now 1 year later. I really think that sent us off in this direction that, again, last year kind of worked, but I feel like that was a franchise-changing play. I really do, and that's crazy to say with knowing that everything is happening. Obviously, what happened to Nick Chubb has nothing to do with Deshaun Watson or anything like that. I really feel like the franchise took a shift that day, and I don't think in a good way. I really don't.
No, I mean, you're talking about losing the heart and soul of your team, right? I go back to...
That's kind of, yes, that's
I go
it,
back
yeah.
to, I remember, the news when we lost Shane Bieber. Did that hurt?
Good. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that really hurt.
Yeah.
But with Chubb, it was tenfold.
Right.
Not only from a talent point of view, obviously Shane Bieber is top tier, but for what Nick Chubb, what he was going to be in terms of how the offense carried themselves, I mean, you couldn't have lost a worse player.
No, and that's, I guess maybe even the more part of it is about that heart and soul, the hit that the emotional side of this football team had to take and frankly had to overcome. And I still feel like it's a little impactful, is it not? Because he's there, he's not back yet. It's still just kind of lingering. And I feel like the team has found their way. They have veteran players. They have guys that you look at and say are the heart and soul of this team. But it's just crazy to think 1 year ago. Now, you tweet out and you asked everybody, where were you at when Nick Chubb got hurt? I know where I was. I was sitting in my basement watching the game on my TV. Kids were in bed, and I saw the hit, and I was like, oh, my God. And then I slowed it down, which was a mistake. And you see it, and you're just like, here's the thing about it. I don't mean to revisit the whole thing, but why I thought it was dirty was that Chubb was already in contact with a guy up top And then here comes Minka Fitzpatrick diving at his knee. Now, Nick has come out and said he didn't feel like it was a dirty play. Other players have come out and felt like it wasn't a dirty play. That was just my issue with it. There was a scrum, and Chubb was fighting forward, but he had Steelers guys up on his shoulder pads, and here comes Fitzpatrick, man. That's why I didn't like it. And I don't like it anymore. I don't want to watch it today or anything like that, but that was my take on the day, and I frankly, it doesn't change how I feel about it. I felt like it was dirty back then. I still feel like it's dirty today. I appreciate Nick coming out to try to calm some of those flames down about it, and we're beyond it. We're moved past and all that kind of stuff. I still really think it was a dirty hit. I do.
How are you with injuries? Because I can't help myself when I see a bad injury. I almost just part of me I have to watch it in slow motion.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
I know it's it doesn't necessarily bother me, but I know
the problem,
a hit like that. I know it's career, it could be career.
It could be, yeah, very much so.
I can't help myself. I'm it happened. I have to see what happened. I have to watch it. I have to put it in slow motion.
You see him on the camera on the TV, and they'll pan away, or sometimes straight up Joe Buck will go, "We're not showing you that." They said that about the Nick Chubb one. They go, "We're not going to show you that."
That's when you go right to Twitter.
That's when you go right to Twitter because it's out there and you
X.
see it. Twitter, X, whatever you want to call about it. Okay. Kind of gross, but we'll get there. We'll get the chats, comments, YouTube, and us on Twitter. What's the worst sports injury I ever saw? There's one that vividly comes to my mind.
Did I have to see it live? Are you asking?
Nah, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Oh, Kevin Ware.
That was exactly my answer, too.
Yeah.
1,000% is Kevin Ware. 100%.
Him, Sean Livingston, or Paul George?
Gordon Hayward's was pretty bad,
Gordon
too.
Hayward's was bad, but at least it was
Do you remember Marshawn Lattimore at South Carolina?
I can handle an ankle break, but a leg break.
Well, it's when it twists and all that kind of stuff. That one's bad. There was a UFC one. I don't think it was UFC. It was MMA. The guy gets slammed on his elbow, and then he comes up and his arm. It's we don't need to go there today. We're not going to go there on a Wednesday. People are sitting there enjoying their coffee. We're talking about Kevin. That Kevin Ware one was that was pretty bad. Yeah. That was pretty bad. Got more football coming up. We'll run through. We have CBS Power Rankings and a really interesting fact or fiction that we'll play along coming up on SI Guards. Damn. All right. Okay. I was upset because I just wanted to grab a little momentum. Is it bad that I want to go all in on a Guardians win tonight?
No. Why would that be bad?
Gavin, not bad. 5 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts. It's kind of what you're looking for. You cranked out 8 hits just for some reason. Just something wasn't working yesterday. So a little fall down for the Guardians. But we head over to ESPN, and they ran through all of the playoff teams at this moment and gave the reason, real or not, and the one reason each team would win the World Series, and if that is a legit reason or not. So, let me start with the Phillies. Real or not, the Phillies offense will fail to click in the postseason. Is that real or not? And would that keep them from winning the World Series? And this is all from David Schoenfield, by the way. His verdict on that, he said it's not real. He feels like they're going to get it done. Real or not, the Dodgers' pitching injuries will stop them from winning a World Series. I mean, I would sit there and say yes, right? Tyler Glass now gone. Yamamoto is back. But Kershaw's hurt again, all of that. He says that is real. So there's that. The Yankees, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto don't have enough help in the lineup for the Yankees to win the World Series. I would love that to be the case. David Schoenfield says that's not real. Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Rizzo is back. Wells. You still forget about Giancarlo Stanton, too.
Yeah.
Right? That he's still there making a bunch of money. So he said that's not real. We scroll down. Why is Siri listening to me right now? Is it because I said Yankees?
She's always listening.
She's always listening. She's a dirty, dirty word I can't say.
Wow.
They're always listening, man. They want you to update and all this other kind of stuff. So I looked down at my Siri's listening, and it was kind of creepy. All right, let me do this first, too. So David Schoenfield started with a list of the favorites. Phillies, Dodgers, Yankees, Brewers, Orioles, Astros?
Yeah, I mean, you can't cut them out.
But then we're not on that list. We are not on the list of favorites. We are on the list of teams playing spoiler.
Yeah, but we've been that way all year.
Yeah, but I don't like that. We're the second best team in the American League. We should be a favorite.
Yes, but you know how the nation views the Guardians.
That's bullcrap is what it is. But here we are. Real or not, the Guardians' bullpen is dominant enough to carry them to a World Series. Again, real or not, the Guardians' bullpen is dominant enough to carry them to a World Series title. They lead the majors with a 2.6 ERA, a 2.02 average allowed. They rank first in home runs per 9 innings, second in strikeout rate, and they have the best damn closer in the game in Emmanuel Clase with Hunter Gaddis, Tim Herron, Cade Smith, and I'll even throw my guy Eli Morgan in there. Here we are.
Yeah.
David put him in the article.
Fair enough.
There it is. He says, keep this in mind. Over the last 3 postseasons, relievers have accounted for 49% of all innings pitched. So think about the last 3 playoff all games. Relievers are pitching half of those games.
Yeah, I mean, you're at the end of the season. You got nothing left to lose.
The past 3 World Series champions saw 47% of their postseason innings come from relievers. With all the days off, the time in between, the rest. And I also think you can take this as a page out of Terry Francona's book, right? When he was pitching Andrew Miller in the 5th inning, he was going to guys in that bullpen when he needed. I think even the Royals did that a little bit when they were in their World Series run. Just that shift of turning 9-inning games into 6 or 7 or whatever. You just get to your relievers early. Now, do you think, and I'll get you to David Schoenfield's answer in a second, do you think that is real or not, that our bullpen is good enough to carry us to a World Series? Do you think that's fact or fiction?
Well, when you say carry us to a World Series, like,
you can't have guys going 0 for 7.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
right.
Like, are they good enough to? I mean, that's been our success for the winning in the regular season.
Sure.
So it's saying, do I think the Guardians are going to win a World Series? Essentially, it's like, do I think they're good enough to carry us? Yes, but you can't have performances where you're putting up 1, 2, 3 runs. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm going to say no.
David Schoenfield says yes.
Okay.
He says this can absolutely work. He writes, it would certainly help the Guardians to win the division and earn one of the top 2 seeds to give them that bye and a little bit of rest and allow Tanner Bybee to line up as their best starter in the first game. And yes, they'll have to score runs. But David writes, they have Jose Ramirez, and he's awesome. In a lot of ways, this team is similar to the 2015 Royals. Great bullpen, terrific defense, and a lineup with just enough power to do some damage. And he writes, nobody wants to face this bullpen. Nobody want to face the Guardians, and I don't think anybody wants to face this bullpen. So you're right. I'm going to need some guys. Lane Thomas seems to have found himself a little bit. You know, whether it's Anel Martinez or Kyle Manzardo. Go get your Kyle Manzardo shirt, by the way, bigplay.com. Our newest merch drop there. Don't nobody want to face that bullpen. And if you can look at Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams, and the crew and just say, dude, get us to the 5th inning. Get us to the 5th inning, giving up 1 or 2 runs, and we'll scrap it out from there. Now, again, you're going to need your offense to show up, which, again, is like so frustrating. They had the freaking bases loaded in the 9th. Like, it took a while, whatever. I'm feeling a big Guardians win tonight. It's probably bad, but I'm feeling a big win. We'll get to that a little bit later. But Schoenfield says it's real. He thinks that they can do it with that bullpen and get it played out once the postseason starts. And, you know, I think, again, there is that overusage problem that I'm a little worried about. You've been following Tristan McKenzie at all?
Nope.
Do you know he has come out of the bullpen his last 3 appearances down there in Columbus?
Stop. I'm not going there. Nope. Nope. Nope.
I'm just saying.
Don't care.
I'm just saying.
Don't care.
They're going to have to do something. You want to know a guy that entered my mind? This is going to make you laugh. You're going to throw something at me.
Wait, he's on the team right now? Or is this some dude that would need to get called up?
He would need to get called up, but he entered my mind for a second.
Karinchak?
Yeah.
Yep.
I got my tight pants on.
I'll take that over.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. I thought about that. If you want to load up, here's what they're going to do. Your 3 starters are going to be Bybee, Lively, maybe Matthew Boyd, maybe Gavin Williams, okay? and I'm setting Alex Cobb aside, who's got this blister and he's going to throw. I think you move Cobb to the bullpen. Maybe Matthew Boyd to the bullpen. You call up Tristan McKenzie, maybe, and you just fortify the living hell out of that bullpen. You almost could do this. You start Gavin Williams. Bro, you're only going 3. Then I'm going to bring in Matthew Boyd. He's only going to go 3, and we'll play that on out. I know it'd be nice for you to sit there and say, yeah, I've got Garrett Cole, or, I've got some guy like vintage Clayton Kershaw. This guy's going to start, shut him down for 7 innings. Dude, if I get to 7 innings and you only give up 1 or 2 runs, I don't care how you got there. I like that little mix that they could potentially have. Let's call it for what it is, too. There's guys in that bullpen. They're not making the postseason roster, okay? I like some of the stories about, I always want to say Strzelecki, but I think he's gone, too. The other guy that's up right now.
Walters?
No, Walters is one. Great story. He ain't making your postseason roster. The other guy, Strom, no. Oh, my God.
Ghost?
No, he'll be back. You know that. Anthony Ghost. No, not Strzelecki. Gillespie's not up here. Eric Sabrowski. Oh. That one. Like, again, right now, with who's up here, Sabrowski probably won't. Strzelecki probably not back. And again, I don't know, some of these guys aren't back up here right now. Like, what do you do with Joey Cantillo? What do you do with him? I see this chess match, and I love it. And I'm already a buyer on the Guardians. I already think they're going to the World Series. I start talking myself into some of this stuff, man. And I start sit there and saying, there's different ways to skin this cat, man. It's you throw Matthew Boyd out there, and he gives up a couple of runs. Hey, you know what? We're going to go over to Gavin Williams now. You could seriously have games that you have Gavin Williams, Matthew Boyd, and Joey Cantillo all pitched in the same game. Talk about screwing with a lineup. And some of the things that have plagued the Guardians is the third and maybe even second time through the line. Do this. Hey, Joey, my guy, Joey Cantillo, you're only facing this lineup once. I need you to get me 5 outs, an inning and 2/3. That's all I need from you. Get after that. And then again, we'll turn it over to Heron and Cade Smith and Hunter Gaddis and Emmanuel Clase. But all that is predicated on what, Ryan? You got to score some damn runs, too. Can't win the game 0-0. You got to put up some runs. And the lineup, see, that's like the opposite right now for the Guardians. I think this lineup is borderline set in stone. There's not too much messing around that you can be having right now. Once you get Quan back, which I know he went on the IL yesterday, right move, you have to get him right. Sit him down. Your lineup has got to be Quan, Jimenez, Ramirez, Naylor. I'll listen to Lane Thomas / David Fry, 5 and 6. John Kenzie Noel. Then Roquio, Hedges, whoever you want to DH. Manzardo, I think, deserves at bats. I want to see Angel Martinez get some. You're flip-flopping Hedges and Naylor. And Roquio, okay. We need to stop taking Brian Roquio out of the game. And I'm not talking about this because I know his bat, and sometimes he shows up with miraculous home runs and that kind of stuff. In the playoffs, I got to have his glove in there. Now, the problem is people get bitchy about his glove because he's had some just atrocious errors this year. We turned into the anti-Daniel Schneemann show here all of a sudden. And I know they can't just jettison him, because I think he's a good clubhouse guy and he matters. I don't need to see any time for Daniel Schneemann here in the playoffs. You can leave him in there if you're getting blown out and you want to get some rest for Jose or something like that, fine. I need Roquio to stand there. Your lineup is set. There's no games to be played there. I think the games all come with the rotation, which I think is an advantage to the Guardians. Bullpen is set. You know the bullpen? You play some of these. I have 6 guys that I would feel okay starting a game and just get me 3 innings. That's power, man. That's powerful for the Guardians. I know they DFA'd Carrasco. I'm assuming that's a ghost thing. He'll accept the outright, down to Columbus, kind of stick around or something like that. But I also think the cut down when you get to the World Series, the playoff rosters, that's going to be really interesting to see how they play that out too.
Well, just 11 days till
Here
the
we go,
season
man.
finale.
Shut up. Let's go. Don't we get pushed back a day, though, because we lost? So we can't clinch on Friday anymore? Is that true?
Yeah. No,
Royals won.
Thursday.
Did the Royals win last? Didn't they not win last night?
Might have got pushed to Friday. If we lost,
no, Detroit won an extra. Let's go.
Oh, so we might be able to clinch tomorrow.
Let's go, man. Where's Jensen? I need Jensen's tweet. He's been doing it every day. Every day. All right, here we go. 10 games left. 2 for a playoff spot. The earliest clinch could be tonight. As long as we win, Detroit beats Kansas City and Seattle beats, I think, do we need the Yankees to win that? It's Seattle v. the Yankees. I don't know if we need to win that. You need 6 for the Central with the earliest clinch coming on Saturday and 7 for a top 2 seed. Right now, we're only a game and a half back of the Yankees. So I think we need the Yankees to win the clinch that playoffs. So if we clinch tonight, I think you win, Detroit beats Kansas City, I think we're good. I think we're good on that. Let's go. That's where we're at for the Guards. A lot of fun. It's going to be great. Can't wait for it. And we'll get to our Guardians plays a little bit later. Ready for a little fact or fiction this morning from SI? Now, none of these have to do with the Browns, but I thought they were all interesting fact or fictions from around the league. Right. Gilberto Manzano.
Let's throw some music on this.
SI, let's throw it up. Let's go. So he's got, I think, 5 of these. Fact or fictions, and we'll give our votes on this as well. Number 1, fact or fiction. The unbeaten Steelers will be contenders at the end of the year. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
That is fiction as well, I agree. Manzano's view is fiction. From all the 2-0 squads, the Steelers are the least interesting. There's not much to discuss at this point beyond the likelihood of Tomlin delivering another winning record to keep that streak alive. They're playing Steelers football. Dominant defense, a productive running game, but what else is new? They're definitely not headed to a top 10 draft pick, but we also don't think they're going to the playoffs. They're starting Justin Fields again. Russ is just kind of hanging around and waiting, but eventually, when the rubber hits the road, you're going to need your quarterback to play. I don't think that guy is going to be Justin Fields. I agree. I don't think the Steelers 0-2 are going to be contenders when it's all said and done.
No, I mean, you played the Broncos, Bo Nix, and then you played Atlanta, and Atlanta looked awful that game. And they didn't even look all that great against Philadelphia either. So, yeah, you're 2-0. Congratulations. But I'm waiting for them to play a real offense. Justin Fields looks okay, I suppose. The offensive line isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But you're not going to be able to win putting up 15 points. I think the second half of the season, they're going to collapse. And it's like the perpetual Steelers cycle, right? You're not bad enough to get a lottery pick, but you're not good enough to go anywhere. Yes. And at that point, it's like, where do you make that change? With Tomlin? I don't know. Would you rather suck a couple years to be really good, or would you just rather stay in the middle and stagnant for a decade?
Well, here's the thing. I actually think they're right on with what they did. Just don't get Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. Be a built team and go find another guy that's available. And that's hard to say because, franchise quarterbacks don't become available all that time. But, their development of quarterbacks has been in question, right?
Yeah, but it's what's the last quarterback we've seen move teams and really, elevate them? I guess Stafford certainly did.
Cousins worked going to Minnesota.
Yeah, but they didn't go anywhere. They lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. I get it.
It just seems like nowadays you have to draft.
You're right. And I would have to imagine that the Steelers want to bite at that app. Now, they did with Kenny Pickett. And that's another whole roll of this dice, which thankfully the Browns shouldn't be in this situation anymore, but maybe. Bro, that timing of getting a pick in a draft that actually has good quarterbacks, it's like threading a needle, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I'm of the same mindset. You are, what's one of our mottos on the show? You're pissing in the wind if you don't have a quarterback. You're wasting your time. So I would imagine for the Steelers trying to keep it alive, you're right, they're better off and just tank. And, I haven't really dove all the way into Carson Beck and Shadur Sanders and Quinn Ewers and Dylan Gabriel and all the quarterbacks coming out in this draft.
Cam Ward.
Yeah, maybe.
No, he'll be a first-round pick.
Yeah, no, I believe you. What was I saw? Was it Cam Rising? Is he the guy not at Utah?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's
Did you see that stat about their game against Oklahoma State, which I can't remember the Oklahoma State quarterback?
They're 26 and 25.
They combined for, I think, age of 49, and the average age of one of the NFL games was 44.
Yep.
It's crazy. Get rid of that transfer crap. But anyway, yeah, they're better off to just take that bite at the apple because your path to success is drafting a quarterback and develop them right. But that's also the harder thing to do. All right, next up, SI, fact or fiction. Baker Mayfield will receive MVP votes this season.
Well, I mean, through 2 weeks, he's the MVP of the league, so it's tough for me to come out and say no. That would be me predicting a probably second half collapse out of him, and I don't really think that's fair the way he's been playing. Now, will he have the numbers at the end of the year that maybe a Lamar will have? But then again, if Baker has a better record, that lends a lot to the voters. I would say right now, I would be unfair to say he won't get one, so I'll say fact.
So you'll have to say fact, Gilberto, fact, and I agree with it. Now, he said it's way too early to discuss MVP candidates, but then he linked to an Albert Breer article, and I was wondering if he put MVP candidates in there. Here's the thing. Let's do it ourselves. Patrick Mahomes, always and forever. I think Josh Allen is in that conversation, certainly. Quarterbacks, just say yay or nay. Brock Purdy. Probably not.
No, but it could be the...
There's so many seasons to go. I get it. I don't think Jalen Hurts is in that. I don't think Jared Goff is in that right now. You have no choice but to put Derek Carr in there right now, right?
And Sam
Darnold. Now, we know that that's not actually how it's going to go. But I agree with you and Gilberto to say, is it Gilberto? Can I just call him Gil? I'm just going to call him Gil. That's fine. But he's got an O at the end of it.
Gilberto.
Yeah, that it is. I think that's an unequivocal fact. I think at the end of the season, he's going to get MVP votes. Stop! Don't make the comparison. I don't want to make it. He's not here. It is what it is. We move on. Fact or fiction, the Panthers were wrong to bench Bryce Young this early in the season. They were wrong to do it. That's important, because if I said they were right to do it, then that would change.
No, I think they were right to do it.
Were they wrong?
I think they were right to do it. And in fact, I think that the Panthers should have started Andy Dalton this season.
I can listen to that.
Because you have Dave Canales coming into Carolina. You can look at it as, hey, I'm treating this as Bryce's true rookie year.
Sure.
And I think that's what they should have done. Now it seems as though you're benching him. I don't really see a world where he comes back to being the starter. I think you have to part ways, make it a clean cut, as crazy as that sounds, given all they gave up. But for how dysfunctional that organization is right now, I don't see a scenario where it works out.
Yeah. So the answer is, you're the same thing as me, fiction.
Right.
They were wrong because they were right to bench him that early. Yes, they have put him in a bad situation. And who did I see yesterday? Oh, it was Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper went off on the Panthers organization for how they've mishandled him and Tepper's involvement and what they've put around him. And I love Mel. He's the godfather of the draft. We also got to open our mind that he just wasn't going to work in the NFL. And there are just some guys that have all the college production in the world that played at these, whatever, Heisman Trophy winners, and they just don't translate. And I think that about Bryce Young. I think the mistake that the Panthers made very clearly was when they put that card in. It's not about what offense they put around him. It's not about, now that doesn't help. That doesn't help if he's not having people around him to help and he's throwing to freaking Adam Thielen. I get it. But I just don't think it worked when they drafted him. So I think it was 100% the right call to bench him this early. Next up, fact or fiction. Saquon's drop cost the Eagles that game, not the play call. Again, fact or fiction. Yeah. His drop cost them the game, not the play call.
The answer is obviously fact. If he catches that ball, the game's over. So it's a fact.
That's
you can argue about whether or not the play should have been called, but if he catches that ball, game over.
That's what he says. And I thought that was an interesting take, knowing, again, with what Kirk Cousins had to do, because you're right. He catches that, the game is over. You could have still stopped him on defense. You could have run the ball to bleed out some more time and all that kind of stuff. But it's an unequivocal fact. He catches that, the game's over. Yeah, and you don't have to worry about it.
You can question the play call, and in fact, I saw this stat. Saquon Barkley has the most drops for a running back, I believe, since 2019. Now, you can question the play call, but inevitably the question was, is it Saquon's, or did he drop the pass, right? That's how he worded it?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, it's a fact.
Yeah. Final one here. Jaden Daniels will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Fact or fiction? He got the win. He ran one in, looked pretty good. You know your contenders. Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors.
It'll be Malik Neighbors.
Seems to be that point. I actually think it's going to be Harrison.
No,
you saw what he did Sunday, man. He has a couple more of those games. And the Cardinals project to actually be, outside of the Bears, probably the best of those teams. Going to be better than Washington. Certainly going to be better than the Giants.
Yeah, but I don't think that record plays in nearly.
Oh, I think it does. I think it does. If you're doing that as the number one receiver on a playoff contending team, which now I think Arizona's going to be, it's going to open up with the Rams.
The thing, I can make the argument Malik Neighbors is way more to the Giants than Harrison is to the Cardinals.
But more to a 4-13 team as opposed to a team that might make the playoffs?
I mean, listen, if Marvin Harrison puts up continuous numbers like he did, then sure, it's going to be Marvin Harrison. But Malik Neighbors through 2 weeks, just last week, had a 100-plus yard game and a touchdown. Marvin Harrison at 2, I get it, but he had more catches, and he had a much better week 1 than Marvin did, catching 1 pass for 4 yards.
Well, and then the other thing about the Commanders' schedule, which Gil writes, they got us, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Titans, the Falcons, the Bears. I mean, they have, and then they still have to play Dallas and the Eagles in their own division.
If Malik plays 16 games, he's the offensive rookie of the year.
You think so?
100%.
All right. All right. Can we get odds on that? Hang on here. NFL offensive rookie.
Sure as hell ain't going to be Caleb Williams.
Are you sure, though?
No, obviously.
Are you sure?
It could turn around. It could be.
It could.
But not a single touchdown through 2 weeks. That doesn't land well.
All right. I wish they would just list this favorite. Do you know who the favorite in Vegas is right now?
Probably. Is it somebody we name?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably. Well, I'm assuming it's very well possible. It could be Jaden Daniels.
It is Jaden Daniels.
Because he's a quarterback.
Plus 350. Next, plus 325.
Is it still Caleb?
No.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that. It's probably Marvin.
It is Marvin Harrison.
I get it.
Third at plus 350.
It has to be Malik.
No.
So, okay, is it another quarterback?
Yeah, it's Caleb. It's Caleb Williams.
Oh.
So your top three are under a blanket here. Plus 300, plus 325, and plus 350. Daniels, Harrison, and Caleb Williams. You better run and grab your Malik Neighbors right now, Ryan, at plus 800.
Because that's the thing. Those three were the clear top 3 favorites at the beginning of the season, were Caleb, Jaden, and Marvin Harrison. Now, I'm banking on, from what I've seen through 2 weeks, that trend to continue, and that would lend to Malik Neighbors, honestly, running away with this award.
Xavier Worthy's plus 1,300 with some value.
No.
Brian Thomas plus 2,500.
No.
Bo Nix plus 4,000.
Absolutely not.
As is your guy, Lad McConkey, Keon Coleman.
I would put, and you know what? Now that we're talking about, maybe I will. I'd put some change on Malik Neighbors.
Plus
sure.
800.
Barring an injury,
if you're believing
if
you're a believer.
Neighbors plays 15 plus games, that's his award.
Yeah. No, I still, and the thing is, what are we both debating here? Wide receivers. That's a quarterback award, is it not? And especially with Caleb and Jaden Daniels starting week 1 right out the gate, they already had a lead. They already had that advantage.
But I mean,
there.
last year, CJ Stroud obviously won it, and he had the best rookie season we've ever seen. But like, Bijan could have won that award if CJ Stroud didn't go bananas.
Yeah. No, that's, again, I get it. I think there's a little mystique around Harrison, too, for how everybody felt like he was going to be, how good he was going to be. So we'll see. Get your bets in there and see where it goes. All right, final thing here. Let's run it over to CBS Sports Power Rankings Week 2. Let's go. Number 1. You want to guess?
Chiefs?
That is correct. Number 2.
Bills?
Yep. 3.
Is it shocking?
No. They're 2-0.
Oh, they're 2-0.
Yeah. CBS Sports is true on where they don't have any 1-1 teams ahead of the 2-0 team.
Okay.
All of the 2-0 teams are, well, I shouldn't say that. The 49ers are ahead of the Chargers and the Steelers, who are 2-0.
Okay.
But the top 7 are all 2-0 teams.
How about them Texans?
Texans are 3. Bucks are 4. Yep. Vikings 5. Saints 6. Seattle 7. Stop me if you would have ever thought at any point in this season that you would have a power ranking of your top 7 having the Vikings, Saints, and Seahawks all in it.
Definitely not.
Did not see that. 49ers are 8. Chargers, Steelers go 9-10. Then the Lions, Packers, Cowboys, Raiders, Ravens, Bills, Falcons, Eagles, and coming in 2 spots up to number 19, your Cleveland Browns. The write-up. That was a big victory in Jacksonville. Defense came up big, and Deshaun Watson was better than the week before.
Fair enough.
That's all I can ask for.
It's a long marathon.
It's a long marathon. It is a long way to go on the season there. But at 19, I think pretty solid there for the Browns. They get geared up and ready to go. Our Twitter question is up. At Matt Fontana Show. Did Sunday's win over Jacksonville give you any more belief on Deshaun Watson? Yes, I'm more optimistic. Nope, I need more proof. Or I'm pessimistic on where it is. I'm going to vote optimistic in this wave, in this sea of the ups and downs with Deshaun Watson. You know, all I got Sunday, Ryan, was like a reprieve. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like I'm warding off the news that I don't want. And that news is Deshaun Watson stinks, and he's not going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns for the future. I'm fighting that off with a stick, trying to just push it away for one more week. Do you know what happened on Sunday? I got my week of reprieve. I got my week that I held off the idea that Deshaun Watson isn't it. Now, eventually what I would like to happen is exorcise that demon. Okay, call the priest, get him in here for an exorcism. Great flick and one of the best themes ever. I've done that bracket in the past. Best movie theme of all time.
Like songs?
Yeah, like Star Wars, Jaws, The Exorcist, Halloween. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. I want to exercise that demon of pushing aside the idea, the notion that Deshaun Watson can't be the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns from a skill standpoint, on the field standpoint. All I got this past week was just 1 week. I don't got to deal with it. It doesn't mean anything for next week. It doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of it. It is steps forward. But all I got, Ryan, was a week that I could just say, get away. Get away. Can't have that conversation. Now, he plays bad against the Giants. Those demons are going to come right back. And that conversation is going to come right back. And I just need week over week of avoiding that conversation and keeping that conversation buried for as long as I can. Eventually, it's going to come to a head. Eventually, you're going to have to decide if he truly is the guy or not. But right now, at least for this week, I don't have to have that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more optimistic than I was a week ago, right? I mean, I was in a very, very, very low point, as we all were with Deshaun Watson after what we saw against Dallas. But, like, at the end of the day, he came out Sunday. He led the team to a win, whether it was, you can debate what percentage was his, the credit goes, but, like, there was no denying, one, the pocket presence was better that we talk about, right? He was decisive. He made a lot better throws. His accuracy was better. Now, were there mental mistakes again? Yes. You have to take that sack. You can't just throw the ball away. You got to let the time tick. And that's one of those things, like, does that get fixed with time reps as well?
Right, I hope so.
Because you're a veteran, that's probably something you should know. I'm not sure you just lose that like recognition. But at the end of the day, how could you not be more optimistic?
Right, you got to get it figured out. And that's the steps in the right direction that we talk about. It's what you want to see. We'll get to it. I want to see the morning update. Ryan's got all the stories. Do you have the Marshall head coach making his pitch?
No,
Did you see that?
I saw something.
Charles Huff, he's the head coach of Marshall, who Ohio State will play the Thundering Herd. Best Marshall player in history.
Randy Moss.
That is correct. But also, was that not, who's the, it was Byron Leftwich. That's right. Remember when he broke his leg and they're carrying him down the field?
No, I don't.
You don't remember that? You never seen that clip?
I mean, what year was that?
Oh, late 90s, I think.
Yeah, so I was not alive.
Right? That was Byron Leftwich. Marshall. Yeah. Yeah. There it is. In the 2001 GMAC Bowl against East Carolina, he was remembered being carried by offensive lineman Steve Sculio after breaking his left tibia and taking them down the field as he rallied a 17-point comeback. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No. That was in 2002 against Akron. Marshall still lost the game, but he rallied a 17-point comeback on a broken leg. That was Byron Leftwich. But you're right. Randy Moss is the best answer. Randy Marsh is the best Marshall player ever. So Charles Huff, I think, was joking, and I think he kind of understands. Can I get you a sportsy take? A sportsy take on everything? You ready for this? Yeah. So Charles Huff, Marshall's head coach, they're coming in to play Ohio State. What's the line on this game? Stand by. Let me scroll up here. All right, hang on. I haven't even seen it. I'm going to guess it's 37. Okay? 37. Gamecast. Spread. Going slow this morning. We'll get there. 40. The spread is 40. Okay, so I was close. So you're going in there, getting a lot of money. You're down by 40. Or spread is 40, I should say. And you see upsets in college football, right? With this coach, who I think this is hilarious. What he did was he said for any Ohio State player that wants to transfer to Marshall, he'll get him an all-you-can-eat NIL deal from Tudor's Biscuits. And I've never had them, and all I've ever heard from people that are like, man, you're Ohioans, you don't know. It's amazing. You want your sportsy take?
Sure.
Is that not sending a bad message to your team that we're just about to go up there and get our asses? Like, I hear these coaches where it's like, when Northern Illinois, beats Notre Dame, they weren't doing that. Like, it's almost like you're sending this message like, oh, this game's kind of a big joke. And I know it is, and I know they're getting a paycheck, and they're going to loot, but you just basically signaled that we are going up here for a big old joke.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That you got no chance. And listen, I appreciate a coach who's a realist on the whole thing, but don't you look at that and say, you're not even giving your team a chance to pull off a Northern Illinois type upset. Because what you would want is the belief, and in that locker room, what are those guys talking about? Like, oh, yeah, your coach said he's offering the guys a bunch of biscuits, come play here. Like, oh. Got no chance. Good.
No,
Ohio State, bang the 40, man.
I agree. I don't like
bang
that.
the 40.
I wouldn't want my coach coming out and saying something like that.
Right? And I know what the game is, and we all know what the game is going to be, but I just didn't like it. I didn't think that was a good call there from that coach. But hey, man, I've never had Tudor's Biscuits. I'm sure they're delicious. I do love some good sausage gravy on top of some biscuits. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
I'm starving. We got to get it rolling for it. But just a little bit, dude. Just that great. 2 biscuits is the perfect amount. You just slop that gravy on top of there. Whoo! Now we're cooking. All right, Ryan's got the morning updates, all the stories you got to know. Dive into timeout. Got more Browns coming up, and we'll mess around the grid. All comes your way here on Big Play. Folks, tonight, bonus time. Bruce Drennan. Last night, the return, Josh and Maria Cribbs. How did Rapine and Andrew Fox Miller do on Under the How are they doing? Are they everything all right down there in Cincinnati? How's it going with our boys?
I don't know. I have to watch their newest episode. I mean, I got to imagine there's some panic, but I haven't watched the newest episode.
You know the place you can go watch it? The brand new Big Play app. It's right there for it, folks. You can sign in. All of our shows are there. And there's a 24-hour live stream. I'll tell you. Here's our guide. Drennan is on from 10 to 11. Then it's Drennan. It's Drennan. There you go. Then the Big Play Cleveland show with Austin Hedges. Then the return. Then the Hedges interview again. Then us today from 2 to 4:30. Then Enter the Jungle. Folks, it's all there. Our brand new Big Play Tailgate show. Bob Golick, Tony Zarella, Chuck Booms. Folks, we have the content for you. And it's all free. I don't talk about that enough, Ryan. Nothing we do is behind a paywall. Nothing. We stream on YouTube. Free to the masses. We stream on social media. Free to the masses. Our app is 100% free to download, and all of the content is there. There is not a single paywall on anything that we have here with all of our shows. We've added new shows. It's all around football right now. And what better coverage can you find than us right here at Big Play? So check it out in the app. Go to the website. All of our merch is there. I'm waiting for my new merch drop to come. When do we get a show? Or when do we get a shirt show? Show shirt.
Just ask Cody. He'll easily get you one.
Yeah, but I want to get something other than just a logo.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit down with them, come up with something? I have no creative bones. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm like creative when it comes to the show. I have zero artistic skill. I've got no graphic design skill at all. But I think I'd like to come up with a show shirt.
Yeah. That would be cool. We'll come up with something.
Come up with something. I love our logo. I love the logo, but maybe something a little else. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But we'll get that on with Cody. But it's all
can't confirm, but chat's telling me Skrills is saying Bryce Young's requested a trade from the Panthers.
What? I believe you. Why would he do that?
He's trying to make it look like it's all the Panthers' fault.
You want to know what? They're going to find that out in about 3 weeks, buddy. Do you want to know why he would request a trade? Because he knows it's not all them. They will find out in 3 weeks with Andy Dalton.
Maybe he wants to get out ASAP.
Because he wants to go now, because now he's going to get exposed.
Right.
I know we got a break. Can I just go down this Bryce Young rabbit hole for just a second if you'll entertain me, please?
Sure.
I am very sympathetic and understanding to the crap, cover the kid's ears, shit situation that he is in, okay? That guy had dreams of $300 million contracts, of going to a Super Bowl, first overall pick, and they all came crashing down 2 days ago. Now, that is the world that we live in, okay? At some point, someone told me this a long time ago, you're going to have your dreams dashed one way or another. That's life. But the thing is, for him now, what is the best path? Okay, he wants to request a trade away from the Panthers. Why? He is going to put all the eggs in his basket, and his agent is on the phone calling everybody saying the Panthers are a dumpster fire. It's their fault. Their offensive line sucks. Their receivers suck. All this other stuff. Eventually, he's trying to do what? He's going to try to go the Trey Lance route, okay? Ryan, I would almost say I've seen more out of Trey Lance than I've seen out of Bryce Young. And there's some physical things with Trey Lance that gets you excited. Now, I'm sure there are other teams out there that still had a pre-draft evaluation of Bryce Young being the best quarterback in that draft, which is now laughable seeing what CJ Stroud has done. But still, having that first-round grade, there will always be a team out there that's willing to trade a fourth-round pick for you or get you to a new situation. When in reality, it just might not freaking work, man.
Can I play? I haven't heard this yet. Can I play the Mel Kiper rant?
Yeah. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
On the field is a...
Sorry, let me start it.
Can you pull up the video? Or
I think it's mishandled is the word, because when you drafted Bryce Young, you knew he was an outlier. You know, like Russell Wilson was bigger, right, taller, but only 5'10" and 3/4. That opened it up for the 5'10" quarterback. But Russell Wilson was 205, 208 coming out, not 180. Okay, Kyler Murray, because of Russell Wilson, became the #1 pick overall, different body type than Bryce Young. So you knew Bryce Young, not only short, but small, diminutive quarterback, needed help, right? Also continuity. You draft a quarterback. Everybody said he's got this great infrastructure in Carolina around him, right?
He had it in
the head
Alabama.
coach, the coordinator, the quarterback coach, everything's there, the senior assistant, everything's in place. And then you see him beat CJ Stroud on the field as a rookie, right? If you take out the 3 games he threw multiple interceptions, he was 5 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks, okay? Had some decent games last year, okay? But then you go into this year, you change everything because CJ Stroud's doing so well in Houston. We got to destroy this thing. We got to blow it up and start over because, CJ Stroud's doing so great in Houston. These coaches aren't getting it done. So we bring in an offensive coach who was with Baker and others, right? Bring in a new pass game coordinator, new quarterback coach for Bryce Young. Then we don't play him in the preseason. We play him 1 series in the final preseason game against the AOGs. None of those guys are playing for Buffalo, by the way. They went 1 series down the field and they're rah, great. We got it. We accomplished everything we wanted to.
I love Mel.
I'll give you a little
Kiper,
note.
by the way,
CJ Stroud played in
on
2
Bryce Young.
preseason games this year. Okay, he played 4. Derek Carr played in 2 preseason games. Why? Because Clint Kubiak was coming in with a new offense, and Derek Carr is a veteran, played in 2 preseason games. Bryce Young played 1 series of a final preseason game against the nobodies on defense for the Buffalo Bills. Does that make sense to you? When in 2 games in, we're saying he can't play? Yes, his confidence was shattered, right? Yes, he does need to sit behind Andy Dalton for a little bit. But to blame this on Bryce Young is ridiculous. The blame here goes to the organization, the owner, for mishandling.
Sure, I understand. Like, Mel, they did not help the situation. But eventually, don't you need to see something out of Bryce Young? Don't you eventually need to see something where he can... Now, that's hard to do, is to go to a rookie quarterback and say, hey, we're going to put this all on your shoulder. Look what the Bears did. All they did was put pieces around Caleb Williams to help him. I don't think he's got a good coach there either, but that's neither here nor there. Like, yes, I understand that the Panthers have misstepped every single part of this. And frankly, I don't care. They can stay in purgatory forever, right? And all that is worst bust draft pick. All it does is knock down some of our crappy picks or whatever. And it might be trending that way. But I also just have a base that I don't think Bryce Young can play. And I don't want to take this shot at Mel, because he's the best. But let's not forget that he loved Bryce Young too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, so he must be defending. Yeah.
There's a little bit of a bias there about Bryce Young, where he doesn't want his evaluation to be wrong. And maybe his evaluation is correct, and it really was the Panthers. Here's the thing. We will find out. Life's got a crazy way of finding out, right? You're going to find out in a couple of weeks if the Panthers are still ass with Andy Dalton, and you'll find out in a couple of years when Bryce Young goes somewhere else. I just am starting. If I'm an NFL general manager, I want nothing to do with Bryce Young, even like as a practice squad thing. You know, maybe the Raiders, okay? Maybe a team that truly has no hope in anything. I just start with Ryan. I don't think Bryce Young can play. I just don't think he can play in the NFL. And yes, it comes back to what? I don't think he's big enough. And you watch what's happened now with Tua. If I'm a GM, nobody under 6'1", man. Nobody under 6'1".
You're like a picky girl.
That's
it.
That's it. You're right. All the ladies out there right now, like, 6 foot or nothing or whatever. Yeah. 6'1" or above. That's got to be my thing for a quarterback. Like you said, Russell Wilson, who's stocky. Baker, I think, is maybe 6 foot. Maybe that. But he's got some stock to him.
Beefy boy.
Let's call for it. Bryce Young is 5'9". Bryce Young is 5'9". Okay?
Is he that short?
Dude, I'm telling you, 5'10" and an eighth at the combine. And I know that eighth was a bunch of bull crap because of the inversion tables and all that. At best, on a good day, he's 5'10". They ain't happening, man. It ain't happening. So, if he requested that trade or not, I get it. He probably wants to go. And you want to know what? It would probably behoove the Panthers to just get rid of him. Do they really think he's going to be the answer? No. Just go.
That's
just
crazy,
go.
Man.
Just go. Just let it go. Move on. A year and 2 games in, and you wasted the first overall pick. Not my problem. Not my problem. All right, Ryan's got the morning update. Plenty to come up here in hour 2. Fontana Show right here on Big Play.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yep.
Even though our strength of schedule is number 1 in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back as it relates to our defense. Our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys.
Right.
They won, again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
All right, welcome back, Fontana Show, right here on Big Play. Follow us on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. We're always up on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch, Instagram. We're all over the place, including the brand new Big Play app. Check it out there. Ryan's got the stories. Get to the grid. We'll get to a little bit of time up as well. More Browns to dive into. Ryan's got the stories. Let's get to it.
Alrighty, Matt. Well, you can't win them all. The Guardians fall to the Twins 4-1 last night. Gavin Williams goes 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Guardians look to bounce back today. 6:40 first pitch. Tanner Bybee on the mound for the Guards.
You know, it's like they had their opportunities late. They couldn't get it done. I really think the slow starts kind of, you know, the negativity creeps in a little bit. We're like, Gavin, I don't think pitched all that poorly, you know? But when you don't score a run in the first couple innings, then you start to fall behind. You know, again, it was 1-1 after 4, which is great. You know, they came back, and was that not the Lane Thomas home run? It was. So you're 1-1, but then they come right back. It's just like, I think you can get a vibe within the first couple innings on what this team's going to be or not. That being said, for tonight, I didn't even look through my stats yet. I haven't even run through my trends for tonight. I'm feeling the Guardians -2.5. They win by 3. Do you like that? Bailey Ober, who's not bad, is on the hill. Tanner Bybee for us. We'll get to our plays later. I need a Guardians win tonight. I got to get it tonight. Over under 7.5. Maybe a little under action again. 2 good pitchers on it. Let's see what it is. But anyway, yeah, can't win them all. Sucks, but that's what it is.
Alrighty, well, the Miami Dolphins have officially placed quarterback Tua Tagovailoa on the injured reserve Tuesday. This comes after he suffers his 3rd diagnosed concussion of his NFL career. Of course, per the NFL rules, Tua must remain on the injured reserve for at least 4 games.
You know, it's a lot of the conversation about what he should do or shouldn't do. It's up to him. And I think it's going to be hard for him to rationalize the idea of continuing to play. But I'm sure he loves the game. I'm sure he wants to continue to keep playing. He's got all the money tied up at this point. And if he's forced to medically retire, he'll get that money. But now the Dolphins also have to understand to protect themselves. They win anything with Skylar Thompson and Snoop Huntley. There's not. Do they make a splash and go try to trade for somebody? Does Jimmy Garoppolo do it for you? I'd rather feel better about him. There's at least some system relevance for what Mike McDaniel runs. I don't know, but now the Dolphins have to have some contingency plans in place. I know there's a lot of people that kind of rip them to sit there and say, how did you not have something in place already?
If you're the Dolphins, Matt, do you not think it would be a decent idea, depending on what the asking price is for Bryce Young?
No.
Obviously not to start this season.
No. I mean,
if you're, I'm just saying, if you're the Dolphins and you might have to move on from Tua after this year,
they'd be better off going to get Trey Lance out of Dallas.
Okay.
Now that Dak is signed up, why don't you go get Trey Lance? Again, I'm connecting dots of McDaniel back to Shanahan. Well, Trey Lance was there. I'd rather take a shot at Trey Lance, to be honest with you.
If you trade
I'm sorry,
4th rounder for Bryce Young.
I will fully admit that I have this bias against Bryce Young, and I feel bad for the young man. I know it's a bad situation. I just don't think he played. Bro, I'd rather trade for Aiden O'Connell. I'd rather trade for Trey Lance. I'm serious.
Aiden O'Connell.
He's had better games on an NFL field. I'd rather go get Nick Mullins. I would go rather trade for almost any backup quarterback other than Trey Lance.
Yes, but a guy like Nick Mullins, that's a floor move. I'm talking about for next year, a potential ceiling move.
I don't think so. Here, ranking the 32 backups.
Dude, stop. I'm talking about a project you give up a 5th or 4th for a not
Browning,
even 2-year removed
Gardner
number 1
Minshew,
overall pick. Who's at the worst organization in the NFL? You imagine that turnaround. You lose Tua, you're able to go bounce.
Drew Lock. I'd rather go trade for Drew Lock from the Giants than go get Bryce Young. Carson Wentz is still the backup at Kansas City. Go get him. Josh Dobbs, San Francisco. Jimmy Garoppolo, the Rams. Already talked about. Mason Rudolph with the tight. Okay, now that's getting a little crazy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there are guys I would rather go get. Bro, and they never trade him because it's in division. I'd rather go get Mac Jones.
Stop it.
Out of Jacksonville.
Stop it.
I'd rather do that.
Stop it.
I think Bryce Young is cooked. Final one because it's going to make you laugh. Go get Kenny Pickett out of Philadelphia.
Who has bigger hands, Kenny Pickett or Bryce Young?
Probably Bryce Young, to be honest with you. You want to do that quick here? You do this. Google Kenny Pickett. You get up Kenny Pickett's hand size. I'll get Bryce Young. Go to their Wikipedia.
8 5/8 inches.
8 and what is it?
8 5/8.
Dude, he's got almost an inch bigger hands. Bryce Young is at 9 3/4. Oh, that's over. 5'8". Yeah, that's over. He's got over an inch bigger hands than Kenny Pickett. The only problem is he's a lot shorter. What's Kenny Pickett's height? And he's 6'1", 6'2", something like that? Sorry, I'm putting that back on you.
Let's see what Google has to say. Kenny Pickett height 6'3".
Yeah, man, those are small hands for 6'3". Go get anybody but Bryce. And I'm talking about, you and I are a little bit different on this whole thing. You're talking about the future.
Yes.
I'm talking about the right now.
Okay, well, let me see this. Just answer this straight up.
Sure.
Would you trade, if you're the Dolphins, would you trade a 4th round pick for Bryce Young?
No. Because I think you can get a better quarterback with even more tread on the tires for the future for a 4th round quarterback. And there was a really interesting article.
Who?
I want to say on ESPN.
Who are you going to get for a 4th round pick right now that you think is better off?
You could get Trey Lance for a 4th round pick. Wouldn't that be an upgrade for what did Dallas give up to get him?
I think that's a good alternative too. I'm not saying that it's not.
Dallas traded a 4.
Yeah, I think that
Dallas
would be a good move
traded him a 4. And he's a free agent after this season. Just get your 4th back for him and move on.
One thing, but when you're talking about other quarterbacks like Nick Mullins, I mean, come on.
I'm just saying, like, that is all under the, the prediction you're predicating that Tua's not coming back, right? But I think it's also crazy when you look at Miami that they just didn't feel like they needed to address that this offseason. Like, this was the preseason SI rankings of backup quarterbacks in the NFL. Do you want to guess on this list where Skylar Thompson came out?
Probably dead last.
Well, they only had 31 on here. Or no, Jake Haener was. Here. Okay, he wasn't on here. Why is he not listed as Miami's backup? Oh, they listed Mike White as their backup. He was 24th. But it is Skylar Thompson who gets to start now. They could have gotten Jameis Winston. Now, thank God they didn't. They could have got Joe Flacco, and they don't run the same offense in any stretch of imagination. But what did Indianapolis do? They had a young quarterback with injury problems, and they signed a competent backup. What an idea. What an idea. What a novel idea. What do the Cleveland Browns do, Ryan? You had a quarterback coming off of injury. What did they do? They signed a competent backup quarterback.
Yes, but this is hindsight's
They'd be better off coming to get Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I'm not getting rid of DTR, but they'd be better off calling to get Dorian Thompson-Robinson than they would Bryce Young.
For a 4th.
3rd, I'm talking. 4th, probably not. But a 3rd, I would talk.
You talk to her?
Now, the thing is that not the name of her podcast?
Mm-hmm.
How's that going, by the way?
I have no idea.
You're helping out a potential AFC playoff team. Got to factor that in too. I wouldn't do it, but if I'm Miami, I'm looking everywhere except Carolina to get Bryce Young out of there. That's not happening.
Alrighty, well, a reunion in Kansas City. The Chiefs announced they are signing Kareem Hunt, of course, our old friend. This comes after Isaiah Pacheco broke his fibula in their win against the Cincinnati Bengals. He's expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Hunt was obviously a draft pick from the Chiefs, a 3rd round in 2017.
It worked out again. He hung around until the Browns needed an injury, and now he's doing it again. I mean, I know it's not the same money because he's starting on the practice squad and things like that, but there's some quarterbacks hanging around. Would you rather have Ryan Tannehill?
Then
reunion in Miami.
Hell no.
He's available. He said he wasn't retired yet.
No.
He's still out there.
I'm sure he is.
I think if you're Miami, you get on the horn right away and you get Jimmy Garoppolo out of LA. Now, with where LA is at, they might need Garoppolo to play. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's hurt there except Matt Stafford. And I think the Rams are staring down a lame duck season as it goes. That's my phone call for Miami. But anyway, I digress. It worked well for Kareem again. You wait to see what job becomes available. It's another comfortable situation that he has been there before. And I also think there's a chance he could put up some yardage, man. I really do. I think there's a chance he knows that system. I still think he's got some play left in him. And they scheme it up about as well as anybody for running backs in that offense. I'd be running to grab him on your waiver wires if you're a playoff or a fantasy team. I think there's an option out there for Kareem Hunt. So happy for him just to have the job back in the league, and I just hope he doesn't come back to bite us later in the season because we will see the Chiefs.
Alrighty, with the Los Angeles Dodgers' recent series with the Atlanta Braves, that marked the first time in more than 3 months, Matt, that Shohei Ohtani went 4 consecutive games without a home run. This was a run he had not been in since June 6th to June 9th.
Is that not?
Now, Ohtani was asked if he feels pressure to become the first player in MLB history to hit 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a season. He currently sits at 48 and 48. He says, no pressure, just trying to maintain quality at bats regardless of the situation. It's something I've been trying to do over the course of the entire season. Matt, will Shohei become the first player to reach the 50-50 mark?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you're a pitcher and it's the last meaningful game of the year and everything's pretty much cinched up and you're losing this game and he comes up and he just needs one, do you just chuck him one?
Fuck no. Excuse my
Not
language.
for history.
That's ridiculous.
No, you wouldn't do that? You don't want to
no.
see the history?
That's the most Bush League stupid thing I've ever heard in my life.
So it's funny that when monumental things happen in baseball, you know, Judge breaks the single game, Barry Bonds home run, 3,000th hit. Do you actually ever remember who the pitcher was? Like, there's always the people that are like, oh my God, Barry Bonds, that pitcher will live in infamy. I don't remember who it was. I have no idea. Pitcher who gave up Barry Bonds, Michael Bassick. He was known for giving up Barry Bonds' 756th home run to break the tie with Hank Aaron. I don't remember that. And I'm not some baseball historian savant by any stretch of the imagination. Who cares?
Hell no.
You don't want to see the 50-50? Now,
No.
there's an element of saying I was the guy that stopped him from getting it. The stolen bases might actually be the one that's a little more, because you got to remember, you sacrifice one to get the other, right? You're hitting home runs, you don't get a chance to steal bases.
It's true.
So he'll get it.
I think he'll do it.
I think he's going to do it. I think he'll do it. But I thought about that. If you came to a point, you got really angry about that.
Because that was a
The
ridiculous
game is out of
question.
hand.
That
The
was a
season's all
ridiculous
stretched
question.
out, and here he comes with a chance of history. You don't be like,
No, I go try and strike out maybe the most prolific baseball player of our generation.
okay, fair enough. But yeah, I do think he'll get it. The tough thing is for Jose, I don't think he's going to reach 40-40. You know, what's he got right now? Stand by. 35 and 39. Think he's got 5 more bombs in him. He'll get another stolen base.
Yeah.
Think he's got 5 more bombs in him. 11 games to go.
Nah.
Probably not. It's going to be a tough one for him, but yeah, but it's still, I'm interested to see how it plays out with Shohei. It'll be a lot of fun. Anything else?
No, that was it.
All right.
I was going to talk about, well, I'll save it for
go ahead.
tomorrow. No, I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
What?
I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
Why?
I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, no. Tupperware filed for bankruptcy. Wah, wah.
Tupperware's a brand?
Yeah, it's like Kleenex. You know, when you pick
Oh,
a
it's like
tissue.
Jacuzzi.
It's like Jacuzzi. It's like
Oh, okay.
Q-tips.
Yeah.
Where you just call things Tupperware, but Tupperware is a brand.
Gotcha.
And now, like everything, you know, there's 1,000 different Dude, I can't tell you how suburban, middle-aged family that we are, that we have a Tupperware cabinet that's just an avalanche.
Yeah.
And we buy the ones that are meant to be. It works on all of them, and you can find the lid. I still stand there for about 5 minutes going, nope. Pain in the ass.
You
And then
poor
the
guy.
problem is when you keep because you know the place that give you the good takeout containers and you don't want to throw those away. So then you got those in there and you're like, it's closed, pain in the ass. Tupperware's filed for bankruptcy. It just makes me think of Napoleon Dynamite when Uncle Rico drives back over. Or no, it was Kip. He drives over top of one to try to prove how strong it was.
Yeah.
Great scenes. Again, one I think we're going to ace today. Why can't we get these in weeks that account? So we've already screwed the week up just for the practice on the Immaculate Grid. Keep the mind sharp. If you do feel like it's a good mental exercise, I do.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I think it's a good mental exercise. Need more mental exercise in your life.
Problem is we don't necessarily learn from our mistakes.
No, we always come up with players that we always forget and never works. Time's a ticking, Ryan. I'm not coughing. Damn it. Okay.
All right, Super Bowl champ. Let's show some love to Flacco, shall we? I don't think he plays for the Chargers or Bears.
That would be correct.
Green Bay, I guess Aaron.
Sure. Aaron.
You surprised he only has one?
Yes. 4 MVPs and just 1 Super Bowl. It's a little crazy. But you guys got to remember, Peyton Manning only has 2.
I guess.
You know.
I mean, Drew Brees has 1, right?
Yeah.
Big Ben has 1, right? Or does Ben have 2?
Ben has 2.
Ben has 2.
Ben has 2. Because they won one, like, right? They won one like his first or second year starting.
I mean, his
remember
rookie
that?
year, they were like 10-0.
Yeah. And then didn't he win the one against the Cardinals?
Yep.
Yeah, they won that.
That's when
one.
Harrison had the 100-yard pick.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know, I lost.
Antonio Holmes had that.
That's the Antonio Holmes catch. Great. I lost a square on the James Harrison. Every step he took was $1. I lost because I had the square perfect.
Fun fact: that's the first Super Bowl I remember watching.
Really, it was a good one. It was fun. And then I really liked the year after that. The Madden cover was Palomalu and Fitz coming together, which was really cool.
Yep.
All right,
Chargers Ravens.
is not. I wanted to say Darren Sproles.
I mean Tyrod Taylor. Did he play for the Ravens? Or am I making that up?
No, he did. I think he also doesn't he work for Seattle?
Who?
Oh no! You know who always works in there that we forget? Seattle, the Chargers. Geno Smith. We forget Geno Smith started was with the Chargers.
Yeah, so should we rip Tyrod? For Chargers,
rip Tyrod there. But I think Darren Sproles works there too. Not that it really matters, but I just for some reason I think he works there.
Did Geno Smith play for Chargers?
Yeah, because we always forget that.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%.
You're not thinking Tyrod Taylor?
Nope. Told you. That's one that I always forget. I always forget that about Geno Smith. Because then obviously he works for the Jets too. Like there's more Geno Smith teams than you think.
Where do
Is
you
that
want to
not
go?
Corey Lindsley?
For Packers Chargers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Former Ohio State Buckeye? I think so.
Well, it's not like we can win this week anyway. So you want to rip it?
I think so.
Yeah.
No. There you go.
All right.
Bears are kind of our funky team. Like they're not the Commanders and the Saints
Bears,
that always screw us.
Packers, is that not Jimmy Graham?
Yes. But wait. Jimmy Graham also works for Seattle.
That he does.
So we got something swirling here. Let's hold off here.
Is Green Bay Bears not Martellus Bennett?
That also would work.
Right?
Pretty sure.
So we should
or sound like a seal. Martellus, or you just said Martellus, but Mercedes Lewis.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
That might be who you're thinking.
For Bears Packers?
Because Mercedes Lewis, I think that's the one you're thinking of. Now, the crazy thing is, I think there's a world that maybe Martellus Bennett works for both too.
Yeah, I think.
But let's go Mercedes Lewis. It's M-A-R, not M-A-R. M-A-R, Mercedes. Right? Yeah. Yep. Then we can go Jim Graham.
Yeah.
All right.
Bears, Ravens. Did Trent Dilfer ever play for the Bears?
Don't think so. Hasselbeck, I always get them confused. I don't even know if he ever played in Baltimore. RG3, no. Snoop Huntley, don't think so. Mitch Trubisky, no. Justin Fields, no.
Gotta be a running back.
Kyle Orton, don't think so.
Todd Heap, did he ever play for the Bears?
No, he went to Arizona. Eric Weddle. Oh, Eric Weddle would have worked for Chargers.
Did
and
Torrey
Ravens
Smith
too.
ever go to the Bears?
No, I don't think so.
Anquan Bolden? Emmanuel Sanders? Jamal Lewis?
No. And
Door.
yeah. Why can't we get these ones on other days, man? Why can't we get these when
Just
they
the way she goes.
Scroll down for a little information. Just the most pop.
Roquan, Eric Waddle, Joe Flacco, Corey Lindsey, Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Graham, Geno Smith, Russell Wilson.
All right. Pretty much aced it. That's where I like it. All right, let's catch your final break of the morning. Come back. We'll dive in a little bit of time up. We'll get you going for the guards tonight with our plays. I'm already feeling one, and our bracket for your best villain of all time.
Yes.
You got some flack. I knew you would.
Yeah, of course I did. I always do.
It is what it is. We'll set the at least one half of the finals. Get our other polls out for that. It's coming next. Fontana Show right here in Big Play.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Hi everyone, Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. You're listening to
And I think they got 11 last year because we were just riding the highs of Flacco fever and the crazy run that they went on in the second half of the season this year. I'm going to go with 10-7 as my Browns record prediction. I'll take a game away. I agree wholeheartedly with what Bruce said, that this division is brutal, and the Browns are going to have to take care of business early on in this season because they don't catch a divisional game until like week 7 or week 8. So you got to beat Dallas. You got to win some of these winnable games early, so that way you've got a little bit of a cushion in the AFC North when those games begin. I'll go 10-7 for the Browns this year.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
Let's jump on to it. A busy day for time up here on the 18th of September. Dude, I don't know why. When you hit the mid of the month and you're just like, where is time going?
Yeah.
Like, where's the... And it's like the rush of the season, too, like for the NFL season. Bro, we're entering week 3 already. Like, we're ready to go. Thursday Night Football back tomorrow. It's just crazy, but here's what we got on the 18th of September. Obviously, 1 year ago today, we already talked about it a little bit. Browns, Steelers, Monday Night Football. Nick Chubb suffers his knee injury, and Pittsburgh got a 26-22 win over the Browns. That game just kind of overshadowed by the whole thing. You know, the stadium just got the air let out of it, you know, when that happened. And that was one, again, I look back at it so different. I would say so differently, but I don't think we understood how big that injury was going to be. Now, in that game, Deshaun Watson threw 40 times. He was 22 of 40 for 235, a touchdown and an interception. Ryan, he had a quarterback rating of just 70. Kenny Pickett outplayed him in that game. Jerome Ford, 106 rushing yards. Pierre Strong had the touchdown. George Pickens, a touchdown on a $127. and we fumbled the ball 3 times. Deshaun Watson had 2 fumbles and lost both of them in that game. So that was 1 year ago today. 2 years ago today, the Browns-Jets collapse. That long touchdown.
Oh, wow.
Remember that? So here's where we sit. We enter the 4th quarter of this game, Ryan. The Browns were up. Here's what I'll do. We scored a touchdown with 2 minutes to go. Actually, better. 1:55 to go in the game. And we were up 30-17 with under 2 minutes to play. Joe Flacco gets the ball, gets it to Corey Davis for 66 yards and a quick touchdown, okay? 30-24. I'll never forget this, right? I had to work sidelines with Gerard. I was his on-site producer for the sidelines. And I've known Gerard forever. And I love talking football, Gerard. So we're sitting there, and we're on the sidelines, and we're like, all right, we're good. It's 30-17, right? We're good. Bro, we both watched Corey Davis run up this sideline. And Gerard and I point, and when they go, is that guy open? He was so wide open. I thought he was just like an extra guy on the field. You know what I mean? Flacco hits him with this pass, and he just runs into the end zone. So that only made it 30-24. We're like, okay, no problem. We're still good. Oh, wait. Braden Mann onside kicks it. They get it. Flacco. 12-yard pass. Penalty on Jordan Elliott, 5-yard neutral zone infraction. Pass to Ty Conklin to get to the 32. Pass to Carter again for 5. Incomplete over the middle. Wilson for 12. Incomplete to Elijah Moore. Incomplete pass before he gets it to Garrett Wilson. 15-yard touchdown pass with 22 seconds left. And Jacoby Brissett is intercepted on our next play. We lose 31-30.
Biggest choke I've ever seen live.
I wanted to say that there was something record about it.
Oh, definitely.
Nick Chubb had 3 touchdowns that day, and we still lost. And by the way, Jets lost or snapped a 13-game losing streak in the month of September. Joe Thomas reached elite status by playing. Oh no, he was inducted at the halftime into the Browns Legends Club, and he had to deal with that. Dude, whew. That game was crazy. That game was. I was looking. There had to be some stat about being up 14 or up 13 with 2 minutes to go and losing the game. I couldn't find it, but whatever. We go all the way back to this day, 1991. The Indians hired John Hart as their general manager. Obviously, he built some of those players were already there, already drafted or in the minor leagues. But John Hart built that 90s team, man. And remember, he was an exec with MLB. And he came in, and then he left, and he kind of built the Rangers up. But what a hire. John Hart, this day, 1991. This day, 1976, Indians player manager Frank Robinson played his final game, would obviously go into a great managerial career, but we should bring back player managers. If you had to pick a manager for the Indians, Guardians, who would you pick?
No, you pick anybody.
They got to be on the team. If you were to pick a player man, or do you think Vogt could still play?
Oh, right now.
Yeah, right now. I'm talking about right now. If you could pick a player on the team that also had to be manager, who would you pick? See, I wouldn't want to pick Jose.
Austin Hedges.
Yeah, it's a good pick. That's a great pick. I almost like that as a little Twitter question throw out to the people today. If you had to pick somebody, and I guess, you know what, probably don't do it because they're going to be like, what, you're running Vogt out of town? No, it's just because Frank Robinson played his final game. But, yeah, Hedges is probably your answer. I wouldn't want Jose to do it. It's too much on his mind. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I like that. I like that Austin Hedges pick right there. Indians clinched the AL pennant this day, 1954. Let's do it again, buddy. That would not exactly be, 70 years ago, right? Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Can't do it tonight.
No, that'd be 60.
50 to 2024? 54 to 2024?
Yeah, you're tripping. I'm tripping.
Time's flying, man.
I'm tripping. Yeah.
Time is flying. This day, 1947, the CIA was launched. I don't think I ever want to be involved or investigated by the CIA.
Me neither.
Nor the FBI. But we'll keep that going as a goal for life to get there. This day, 1908, Indians pitcher Bob Dusty Rhodes no-hit the Tigers. This day, 1908. How about a rule change in baseball? This day, 1848. They changed the rule that the first baseman could touch the base to record an out. So imagine prior that Jose throws it over to Josh Naylor, he would have to run and tag the runner.
Wow.
There was no such thing as just touching the base for them being out. What a twist that'd be in baseball today.
Yeah.
This day, 1793, construction began on the Capitol building. Have you been to D.C.? Go through the National Mall? What's your favorite piece there? Lincoln Memorial, Washington Memorial, Capitol, White House?
Hi, Lincoln.
I'd say the White House. I think seeing the White House is pretty cool. Very happy birthday goes out to legendary NHL coach Scotty Bowman, Ryan Sandberg, Lance Armstrong. Yeah? No? Cheater? No?
No, he's
All
a
right,
big
it's his
cheater.
birthday today. Ronaldo, Anthony Gonzalez, one of my favorite Ohio State wide receivers of all time. And now, is he not an elected official somewhere?
No idea.
He's a congressional or something like that. Victor Hovland, Jada Pinkett Smith, James Marsden, Jason Sudeikis, and the late great Mr. James Gandolfini. I feel like I never watched The Sopranos. I feel like that death was like one that really was like felt.
Yeah.
And James Gandolfini passed away. All right, quite a few of your movies and TVs for you today. One movie, 3 TV shows. We start with the movie. This day, 1998. This is a buddy cop film.
98?
98. Buddy cop film.
Bad Boys.
No, Bad Boys, I don't think it was around that time, maybe. I love Bad Boys. Here's the thing, I love this movie,
Rush
too.
Hour.
Rush Hour's correct.
Let's go.
Nice. I love her. The sequels didn't do much for me, but the OG Rush Hour still holds up, man. That's still really good. Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan, yes. Rush Hour, this day, 1998. All right, TV shows the rest of the way out. An animated one, that was a big part of my childhood, obviously, is an animated television series from 1993.
Rugrats.
No, you're on the right path, though.
Ren and Stimpy.
No.
Cat Dog.
Nope. Cat Dog was in the late 90s.
Invader Zim.
No.
Courage.
No, I never watched Courage the Cowardly Dog, to be honest with you. You're on the right path here.
Okay.
This was, I would not say, of the level of Rugrats.
South Park.
No, not certainly that level either. Like, lesser level. It's known, not maybe all that well known. Really
Clifford.
trippy. No. Really trippy when you watch it as an adult. There's a lot of weird things that go on in that
Blue's
show.
Clues.
No, not Blue's Clues. Now you're going away. You're getting colder.
Oh, jeez.
It's on Nickelodeon.
Teletubbies.
No, that's not animated.
Is it on Nickelodeon?
It was on Nickelodeon. Let me see.
Not SpongeBob.
No, not SpongeBob. I don't want to give you the... Okay, he's an animal. All right. I can't give you the specific animal.
Curious
You probably
George?
get it. No.
Not Clifford?
No. It was set in the fictional town of O-Town. Don't think that would help you,
O-Town.
maybe.
Was it a dog?
No. He's got a friend who's a cow. He's got neighbors that are frogs. And he's got another friend who's a turtle.
What?
What? You don't know? Okay. So he has a friend who's an eccentric steer named Heifer. He has a turtle who's like kind of a nerd, but he's also like a...
Franklin?
No.
Arthur?
No. You're going the wrong way again.
What?
Filbert is the turtle. He's kind of a nerd. He's like a what's the thing where you always think you're sick?
A hypochondriac?
Hypochondriac, all that kind of stuff. He's got a dog named Spunky. Living next door is a middle-aged couple, the Big Heads, who despise Rocco. Ed and Bev Big Head.
Oh, well, you just said Rocco, so. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Watch it as an adult. I don't know if that show is good for kids, man. Like, my mom didn't let me watch Ren and Stimpy. She wanted to watch The Simpsons. Rocco's Modern Life is out there.
I've never seen it.
Oh my god, dude! There's one episode that they were going to a water park and their car break. It's trippy. It's really graphically trippy. But yes, sorry, I spoiled it there. Rocco's Modern Life, this day 1993. All right, next up, this day 1965. This is not an animated film.
Whoa!
What? What?
ESPN senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski has agreed to become the general manager of the men's basketball program at St. Bonaventure. Wow. Official statement from Woj. You ready? I grew up the son of a factory worker 2 miles from ESPN's campus and only ever dreamed of making a living as a sports writer. 37 years ago, the Hartford Courant gave me my first byline, and I never stopped chasing the thrill of it. This craft transformed my life, but I've decided to retire from ESPN and the news industry. I understand the commitment required in my role, and it's an investment that I'm no longer driven to make. Time isn't an endless supply, and I want to spend mine in ways that are more personally meaningful. I leave with overwhelming gratitude for countless mentors and colleagues, subjects and stories, readers and viewers. No one has benefited more from me from the belief, trust, and generosity of others. The past 7 years at ESPN have been a particular privilege. I'm appreciative of the company's leadership, especially Jimmy Patero and Christina Douglas, for the understanding and acceptance of my decision to make a life change. After all these years reporting on everyone's teams, I'm headed back to my own.
Wow.
The final Woj bomb.
That right. We will live in a world with no more Woj bombs.
What is Shams?
Shams is just like, yep, bring it on. But is Shams not now a free agent?
I don't know.
I think he something was up. Like, he's got a new deal. You know ESPN's on the horn to him right now. Man,
general manager
stepping down, man. And listen, man, I respect that very much. Like, you know, we're in the media, certainly nowhere near the level of Adrian Wojnarowski. It's a grind, man. It's a grind. And there are tolls taken on family, on your kids, and eventually you see a lot of people that say, I'm not willing to do this anymore. I'm not willing to make the sacrifices. Now, what I assume I appreciate very much from Woj is he says, I'm not going to let my craft suffer. I'm going to make this decision while I'm still on the top of my game, that my head, my mind, my body, my spirit, it's not in this anymore. And I'm going to go make this move to go to St. Bonaventure. And I'm sure he's made a bajillion dollars. You know, he probably doesn't need to ever work again. How old is Adrian Wojnarowski? He's got to be in his 60s, right?
What?
You think? Yeah, I think late 50s. He's 55.
He looks good.
He's 55. I mean, for some, that's a retirement age. And I'm sure he made good money. He's still going to get paid by St. Bonaventure. Dude, the last Woj bomb. Wow. Wow. That's... Dude. What are they going to do?
The day Woj retired.
What are they going to do? I mean, that's not a shot at their other because here's the thing. There's two different things. There's insiders and there's analysts. Like, Brian Windhorst is an analyst more than he's an insider. You know, Tim McMahon and Tim Bontemps and all these other people, they're kind of analysts. He was their insider.
Yeah.
They got to go get Shams now. Right? Am I misremembering that about Shams?
I don't know.
That's right. He leaves Stadium. His contract expiring at the Athletic. Does this not just line right on up here for everything? Now, that was last month. And is that... Okay, so here's the thing. New York Post reports that Shams Charania is leaving the Stadium after working at the outlet for the past 6 years. It's also noted that his contracts with the Athletic and FanDuel are coming up. Sources say it remains up in the air of whether Charania will either stay at either the Athletic and or FanDuel as contracts are still going on. He's sitting in a catbird seat now, buddy. And I will fully admit I was kind of more Woj than I was Shams, you know? Just probably working at ESPN. Do you now unfollow Adrian Wojnarowski because he's out? Kind of have to, right?
No.
Do you care about your follower account? You don't really?
No, we can't do it.
I kind of cleared out a little bit, but wow. That's it, man. Woj stepping down. Never thought I'd see the day, but here we are. All right, we got to fly. We got to go. All right, TV show, this day, 1965. It's funny because you would say that this is a dream about Woj. This TV show, though, was...
A dream about what?
A dream. An American fantasy sitcom where Larry Hagman, an astronaut, falls in love with a particular person, eventually marries her.
I Dream of Jeannie?
That is correct. Astronaut Tony Nelson is on a space flight in his one-man capsule. He comes down far from his planned recovery area near a deserted island in the South Pacific. And on the beach, he notices a bottle, rubs it, and removing the stopper, revealing a 2,000-year-old genie who eventually he falls in love with and marries. I Dream of Jeannie. All right, final one just a year prior to that, 1964. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.
Addams Family.
That is correct. I don't want to get creepy on the show, but Angelica Houston in the Addams Family movies as Morticia, I find that really hot.
Okay.
And it's weird. It's very weird, but the Addams Family is correct this day, 1964. Guards, let's go. Bybee on the hill tonight. Now, Bailey Ober on the hill for them. I kind of like the under for this game with two solid pitchers. Let's see what we got. Guardians, a minus 120 favorite tonight, 640. Your over-under is a low 7 and 7.5 at a couple of places here. I want to go Guards so bad to get this done. Ober's last 3 starts, 2 no decisions and a loss, but he has 6, 7, and 8 strikeouts over his last 3 games. He did give up 5 earned runs his last start to the Reds, but still somehow got out. Oh, no, they took the loss in that one. His 2 prior starts, KC and Toronto, gave up 1 combined earned run in his last 2 starts. Bybee coming in, 2 losses and a win. He's on a 2-loss streak, but he's only given up 5 runs over his last 2 starts while striking out 13. Minnesota is about, I think 18th in baseball in strikeouts. So maybe boost me a little on this. Kind of like the under. The under has hit Minnesota's 4 out of their last 5 games on the road, but the over has hit 5 out of their last 7 games. Minnesota, with their win last night, broke a 5-game losing streak at Progressive Field. Flip it over for the Guards. Under has hit 5 out of their last 6 and 8 out of their last 12 against Minnesota, 7 out of their last 8 at home, and the Guardians are 6-3 straight up. Here's my parlay for tonight. Guards win. Alt me under 8.5. Give me Bybee over 4 or more strikeouts.
All right.
You like that?
Yeah.
Like that? Maybe Bailey Ober 4 strikeouts too? Sprinkle it in. See how it goes. Get it done, Guards. To our bracket quickly. Best movie villain. The Joker and Darth Vader advances number 1 seed.
Yeah, it wasn't really close.
No. I'm going to go Hans Landa in Group 3 in Glorious Bastards.
Yeah, I think I will too. Thanos is good, but I mean,
I like
Hans
the
Landa,
Wicked Witch of the West there too.
And then I'm going to go...
You got to go Sugar.
Yeah, I got to go my guy. That was my entry.
Got to do it. Got to do it. So vote on that at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. Check it all out, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Drennan's already here. Bonus time tonight. Follow that on the app and also on Twitter X. Is it just Bruce Drennan? Drennan Show, I think. Bruce_Drennan. Check that out. And always get your questions in for the Ask Bruce segment as well. Great stuff today. Appreciate you joining us. We'll talk to you tomorrow. For Ryan Tyler, I am Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.